This is Taigu. Taigu talking about, I want to talk about Koku. Now, the last few weeks we had interesting conversations and posts about bowing and significance and the actual meaning of bowing. And I would like to thank everybody for these wonderful patience and contributions that we witnessed all along. Very good. Now today we are dealing with Koku, the end of Koku, and Dogen brings about the notion of ku, emptiness, empty space. And at the end of the chapter, which originally is a talk, he quotes Vasubandhu, the 21st ancestor, Indian ancestor, that in a short poem says, "Mind is like the world of space, constantly bringing forth empty things. When you realize space, there are no good or bad things." Now the key point of this is what is to realize space. Of course, one could talk endlessly about how the mind is like space and ditch some very interesting philosophical talks, and not my cup of tea. And not Dogen's cup of tea, actually, because in that particular part of the chapter, he goes on writing the following. He says, "Now the wall that faces the person meets the person who faces the wall. Here is the mind of a wall, the mind of a decayed tree. This is the world of space." Dogen, as usual, brings it back to the simplicity, the very simplicity of practice, the decayed tree being the picture for a person sitting selflessly. A decayed tree in front of a wall. That doesn't sound really exciting, does it? It's not sexy, it's not jazzy, it's a decayed tree in front of a wall. Pretty annoying. We would have expected a wondrous Dharma, an amazing sort of scenery, and we end up with a bunch of rotten wood. That's what I find every morning when I get up. Yeah. Well, the bottom line, sorry, bit of French humor. The bottom line is practice. Practice is just where space unfolds. Of course there is space without practice, but there is no actualization of space. To realize space is to go beyond the usual chatters of the mind, the judgments, the ideas, the preconceived ideas, the concepts, the ideologies, to go even beyond Buddhism. Ultimately, when we sit, we just drop all this. And Dogen writes further along, awakening others with this body, manifesting this body to speak Dharma, is constantly bringing forth empty things, being used by the 12 hours, and using the 12 hours is when you realize space. What is he talking about? 12 hours? We've got 24 hours. Well, not exactly. In the old days, the day was divided in 12 sections, 12 hours, and that refers to the practice in the monastery. I think it refers to this, particularly because Dogen is talking to monks, to priests in training. But it's also talking to human life. What he's saying here is the display of your various activities is also the display of space, the blossoming of space, the awakening of space, the realization of space. That's powerful. That's straight to our core. Bah! Wake up! And he says, when the rock's head is large, its base is large. The rock's head is small, its base is small. This is, there are no good or bad things. Whoever you are, doesn't really matter. Bad, great, good, great, doesn't really matter. What you bring to practice doesn't have to be glamorous, doesn't have to be sacred, doesn't have to be proper, clean. What I mean by that is that practice is beyond the category such as, well, I'm a bad person, I'm a good person, I'm a wise person, I'm not a wise person. Zazen, sitting, doesn't care about that. Shikantaza has no judgments, doesn't choose between this and that, you and others. Simple. So the old bloke you are, or you're the young, very nice tree you are, sit and enjoy it and enjoy your life, and that's all right. Beautifully ugly, wonderfully imperfect, perfectly perfect, no, perfectly imperfect, imperfectly perfect. Right now, investigate the fact that that empty space is the treasury of the true Dhamma, the wondrous heart of Nirvana. So the invitation of Dogen is to drop ideas about space, to drop ideas about who we are, if we are worth the actual journey, if we are worthy of doing this. Of course we're not. Do you think I am? No, we're not. And that doesn't really matter. Okay? What matters is the display and the joy of that space. What matters is that practice, even small, tiny, taking place, beating the heart of the sutra, beating the sutra, beating, boom, boom. And at the same time, we give up the idea of getting somewhere or getting something, of reaching the other shore. Because as I repeat all the time, the other shore, it's now. Would you be a dead tree in front of your wall? Or somebody going to work, shopping, taking care of the kids, washing? That's Nirvana. That's life. Buddha's life. So thinking that washing the dishes is washing dirty plates to be able to put them in the cupboard is a wrong understanding. That's the goal-oriented practice. Thinking that washing the dishes is a wonderful opportunity to practice mindfulness is not really Dogen's cup of tea. Because you add to it and you give it again a goal. Washing the dishes is just the action of washing the dishes. Bowing is just the action of bowing. We come back to Shikan, remember? Another talk. So be patient with your life and treasure your life. It's not anybody's life. Every moment is unique and you are unique. And at the same time, we share the same fate. Take good care of yourself. And next time, I don't know, I might be talking about another chapter of Shobogenzo. I think it's very nice to bring Dogen to Tree Leaf and people to look at Shobogenzo a bit. Okay? Take great care. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. Sit now.